Hello and welcome to today's Math is Everywhere topic of the day. We're talking today about fractions, times, fractions. Yep, let that soak in for a minute. Fractions times fractions. That means we're going to multiply fractions by other fractions. I know, things are going to get crazy, but here we go. It's going to be a problem like this. 1/5 times 1/8. What do you do if you have to multiply two fractions together? Well, let's talk about it. When you're multiplying fractions, here's step one. Top times top, which is a shorthand way of saying multiply the two numerators times each other. And then step two is going to be bottom times bottom, which is another way of saying denominator times denominator. And then, once you've done that, you will have your new fraction with a new numerator and a new denominator, and you just have to do step 3, which is to make sure that you reduce that thing into simplest form, because you always do that whenever you have any problem with the fraction answer. You always want to reduce it. If you haven't written these 3 steps down, you probably need to do that. So pause the video now and write those down if you haven't already. Here we go. Top times top, bottom times bottom, and then reduce. Okay, step 1, top times top. We're going to do 1 times 1. Step 2 is bottom times bottom. We're going to do 5 times 8. And that's going to give us 1 times 1 on top, which is 1, 5 times 8 on the bottom, which is 40. For this problem, there is no step 3 because you can't reduce it. We're done, and that was actually quite easy, wasn't it? I think so. How about another example problem? What if you have 2/7 times 3/4? Can we still follow the same steps? Sure. Top times top, bottom times bottom. So 2 times 3 on the top gives you 6, and 7 times 4 on the bottom gives you 28. This time we did top times top, we did bottom times bottom. We still need to do step 3, which is reduce, so that we can have our answer in simplest form. So we can divide 6 and 28 both by 2 because they're both even numbers. So 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 28 divided by 2 is 14. And now we have our answer, 3/14. This is actually pretty easy, isn't it? Okay, let's try some rapid fire problems. You don't have to write these down in your notes. Just try to do them in your head. What if I gave you 1/7 times 1/7? I'll give you just a second to think of what that would come out to. Okay, you're going to have to do top times top and then bottom times bottom. If you came up with 1/49th, you're correct, because 1 times 1 on top and 7 times 7 on the bottom. How about another one? We'll make this one just a little bit more complicated. Okay, 10/11 times 1/2, so you're going to have to do top times top and then bottom times bottom. So that's going to give you, let's see, 10/22, but then you're going to realize, oh shoot, I can reduce that, I can simplify that, so that should come out to 5/11. Hopefully you're following along with that. If not, feel free to pause that, rewind it, or just slow it down and make sure you can handle that process too. Another rapid fire practice problem again, just to see if you can do this. What if you have 1/12 times 2/3? Okay. You can tell what you're going to get on the top, you can tell what you're going to get on the bottom, and then yes, you're going to have to reduce this one. When you do all of that, and pause it if you need a second, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you the answer right now, it should come out to 1/18. Alright, one more. 8/9 times 1/8. 1/9 is what you should come out with on that one. If you're not sure why, pause it again for a second and try it yourself and see what you get. I do want to show you something real quick on this particular example problem. If you notice that there was an 8 on the top and then an 8 on the bottom on those two different fractions, and then when you reduced it you had to divide the top and the bottom by 8, you might be thinking, can't I just cross the 8's out to begin with? And then all I have on the top is 1 and 9, and that's what I have on the bottom, so 1/9 is actually your answer, and that's a good thing to do. This is called cross-canceling. You're allowed to do it, but you're only allowed to do it diagonally. You can't do it like with two numbers that are right next to each other, left or right. You can only do it with numbers that are diagonally across from each other. And if that's too confusing, just don't even worry about cross-canceling. Just do top times top, bottom times bottom, and reduce. Okay, that's pretty much all I have to say to you today. Why don't we try a few practice problems? You can go ahead and pause the video, write those problems down, try them, and we'll check our answers tomorrow in class.